the internet is a very scary place. It is a very big and very unknown and very, very honestly terrifying space for you to operate in. And anything that you say, anything that you do, anything that you post, and anything that you delete will always permanently be there in some form, one way or another. And recently, one of the world's most current biggest streamers, Sketch, experienced this firsthand. And I'm sure we've all experienced this in one way or another, but this situation is particularly not terrifying, but it is kind of sad, with a happy ending at least. And I want to talk about it because it is full of excellent lessons that we as internet users need to learn. So to lay the groundwork, Sketch is a very popular streamer, not only because of his humor, but because of the irony in the streamer himself. He is a very, very interesting character, to say the least, with a very, very funny sense of humor, and the quality of his streams isn't the best, right? Let's just put it out there. His mic quality isn't the best, his camera quality isn't the best, and his rise to fame essentially also isn't the best, because if you don't know this about Sketch, he originally started streaming UFC fights and like sports, which you're not supposed to do that, but that's how he got his groundwork for his audience. That's how he built his framework. And from that, he just started developing his own niche. He started developing his own little fan base where he said, you know, like special teams, special plays, special players started flapping his wings, like the thank you brother thing, the doing this. That's where all of that came from, is this not very slow, actually, this pretty quick rise to fame over the course of a year. And I'm sure all of you know about him. All of you know the name Sketch. And if you don't know what he looks like, or if you don't know what he sounds like, you've definitely heard something that's, you know, known like to be from him. The "what's up, brother?" You've definitely heard that at least once. And yesterday, the whole factor of digital footprint was really put on display. So around 2 years ago, Sketch was, and this is his words, not mine, and I will be showing you guys a snippet of his response to this entire situation. But yesterday, a lot of digging was uprooted essentially from Sketch's past, where Sketch said he was in a very dark time where he did some sexual interactions with other individuals, and he posted these online. And again, Sketch did say that these 2 years ago, he was in a very dark time. He was very anxious and all this and all these things. And these were uploaded. And just yesterday, they were dug up by someone originally in an Instagram post where someone basically said, oh yeah, Sketch, you know, like totally different person, and all these different things. So TLDR, Sketch uploaded some OF content, and if you don't know what OF is, look it up. I'm not going to say it on this YouTube channel. 2 years ago, he did this, and he just, very dark place, as he said. He wanted to forget about it. He wanted to just put it underground where it belongs, honestly, and it resurfaced like most negative things on the internet happens. Like that happens to most negative things, especially when you're at the top of the food chain. When you're at the top of the world like Sketch was, anyone and anything wants to take you down. And this just goes to show that whatever you post on the internet and whatever you delete will eventually come back to haunt you if you're big enough. So last night this exploded, and the leaks all over X, all over Twitter, I guess, everything just went up in flames, right? The videos were exposed and people just started talking about it. Like there was so much confusion about, oh, this isn't actually Sketch. It's like Jamie Marr, who is Jamie Marr, which was his P star name. If you don't know what P star is, it's essentially his nickname, right? And people were just confused because they could never expect Sketch, this very, very, you know, wholesome guy who praises the word of God, to do this stuff. And what do you know? Sketch comes over like less than 24 hours later, gets on a live stream, takes 6 minutes of his life to confirm this. And let me show you a quick clip of that.
Elephant in the room, I got a haircut. Wasn't planning on doing this today, but I guess so. Okay, I'll start from the top. Look at this, open and honest. That was me. That was me. It's okay, though. I will tell you what. Okay, 2 years ago, I did some stuff. I'm sorry if you've seen some of the stuff. You know, I'm a changed person. This is going worse than I thought it was. So 2 years ago, I did not have sexual relations with that man. I'm just kidding. I did. Possibly.
So it's pretty obvious from the get-go that Sketch is taking this very, very commendably. He is maintaining a sense of humor. He is being honest. He is apologizing. He's being very thorough, which you don't see with a lot of YouTubers these days. And I feel like most modern, extremely popular YouTubers that are at the top of the food chain, like Sketch currently and still is, if this happened to them, I don't think they would take it as good as he is. But the fact that he maintains his sense of humor and he still makes the audience laugh through this especially dark time is, again, really commendable. It's very impressive. And later on in this video, he does mention that if his original thought process was that if these images and if these leaks resurfaced, he would essentially call it quits, where he means he would call it quits on life, which again is a very scary situation and another lesson learned. This lesson being that no matter how hard it is never permanent. Hard times never last. Every single negative situation you will ever go through will always be temporary. And checking out on life, calling it quits, as Sketch said in this 6-minute video, which I would recommend you go watch, calling it quits on life is the most permanent solution, and every single problem is temporary. And the math ultimately for that never will check out. You should never resort to that negative permanent solution to these negative temporary issues. And if you ever feel like that, just remember you are loved. And take Sketch for example, there's always hope, there's always recovery. You are never too far gone. So what happens next? Well, across the past 48 hours where all of this has been unfolding in front of everyone who's observing across the internet, people have been giving very different reactions, and I see a lot of negativity around this. And originally when the leaks resurfaced and people were just confused, a lot of people were giving Sketch the short end of the stick, where people were saying, oh, this is disgusting, I can't believe you do this. While I personally don't agree with, of course, what he did sexually like 2 years ago, he did admit in this video that he was in a very dark time and he, effed up and he will never do this again. And that is extremely commendable. And I genuinely do not understand why people are giving Sketch such a hard time, because he did ultimately nothing wrong. Of course, everyone messes up. Everyone makes mistakes. While, I haven't made a mistake as bad as that yet, I'm sure everyone at least once in their life will, because mistakes are bound to happen. That's how we learn. Us as humans, no one is perfect. And of course, this situation is massive. Sketch being one of the biggest streamers on the planet right now, a ton of people have been reacting and making videos similar to mine. And, big names like Kai Cenat, Jinxie, FaZe Banks. However, it makes me very pleased to say that a lot of people are showing a massive amount of respect and support for Sketch because, why not? Of course they will. It is safe to say that generally the biggest people on the internet are good people. Kai Cenat's a good dude. Jinxie's also a good dude. FaZe Banks is a good dude. They all say that, Sketch is my homie, and of course he messed up, but everyone messes up and he's going to learn. And, again, his response, extremely, extremely well done. Like if this was like a list of YouTuber apologies, I don't even know if this was an apology, but like YouTuber apologies, right? Let's get into a mini rant here. YouTuber apologies have a history, a fame of being so unbearably bad. You have Jake Paul, you have, I don't even remember the rest of the names because they're so forgettable, but all this tier list of YouTuber apologies, you have primarily Fs, right? The F category is filled to the brim. You have some Ds, some Cs, a couple of As, which those As are actually, like substantial and very, like solid apologies. And then you have this one, Sketch, which is S+, where he was extremely transparent. He kept it short. He didn't have like his girlfriend or his wife or his dog with him, which if you don't know what that means, those who know will know. He got a little bit emotional. He was very transparent. He's very honest, and he kept his sense of humor. And he didn't blame anyone but himself, which is extremely important because a lot of YouTuber apologies involve dodging the blame. Which, again, what's the point of apologizing if you're just going to blame someone or something else for your actions? So a lot of massive names on the internet, some bigger than Sketch, are in massive support of him, which I love to see personally. And I'm just going to say this, if you think differently of Sketch because of this, if you think that he is any less of a human being, if you think he is unworthy of his title, of his fame now, just know that this could happen to you at any single second. Anything you ever have said or posted or shown on the internet can always come back to haunt you. And unfortunately, this is one of the biggest deals that we internet viewers have ever seen with one of the biggest streamers. And just know that if you judge him for this could happen to you at any moment. And like I said earlier, there are so many lessons to be learned from this. Primarily, again, the internet is a massive and scary place. And again, anything you post on the internet is recoverable. Anything that is given to this digital world, the World Wide Web, is recoverable. And anything you say and do can and will be used against you in the court of internet fame, essentially. Another lesson being that everyone makes mistakes and you should not hate yourself for the mistakes you make, because more often than not, the mistakes you make do not define you as a person. It is how you recover from those mistakes and what you learn that defines you. And another lesson, do not resort to calling it quits early. Do not resort to such a permanent solution for a temporary problem, because again, every single problem is temporary. There is not one single permanent problem. And another lesson, it is extremely important to surround yourself with people who support you. Like Sketch, many big names on the internet are in support of him because he surrounded himself with people who are like-minded, people who are funny, and people who, again, try their best not to judge. So who you surround yourself with is extremely important. So to wrap it up, I don't think this could have gone any better. I mean, well, it could have gone much better if this just never happened in the first place. But Sketch did mention in his 6-minute long video that this was a massive weight taken off his shoulders. So maybe the person who leaked this did him kind of a favor. I'm not going to say did him a favor entirely, because if that happened to me, I'd be freaking out. But I mean, I've never posted anything like that, and I never will because I'm not like that, but you know how it is. Sketch did mention that this was a massive weight lifted off his shoulders, and I can only imagine how nice that must feel. I mean, of course, I've had weights lifted off my shoulders, physical and mental, but a weight as big as that, that's been weighing on him for the past 2 years. So with all of that, go show your love and keep tuning in to my channel, to Sketch, to all of these amazing creators who support him, because ultimately this changes nothing. You know, he mentioned that he was in a very dark time. He was very anxious. He was very depressed, and he is a changed man. So with that, stay safe.